Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. You know what? I really can't say enough times how much I don't want to have to go and see Supergirl. I think this movie is going to be a disaster. I think the early trailers we've seen have been terrible. And I think it's a property that's out of place with what you need to do to rebuild a whole universe. I think DC is going to be sadly lacking by the time they're acquired by Paramount. And I think that they're just going to want to start again or start with something that works. I think the idea that has been thrown around by Cosmic Book News and others is to bring back to some extent some of the Zack Snyder direction, but maybe with a little more cheery or rosy approach to things. But that's not the only problem. It looks like the studios and maybe even Warner Brothers realize that this is just a pricey risk. We got the story. We'll talk about it. Here we go. Now, before I get started, quick reminder, double check you're subscribed. If not, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications. That way you don't miss anything. I do dozens of pieces of content every week, from live streams to videos to even the occasional short and poll. I want you to participate, so let me know that you're doing so. Also, if you see something during the video, besides hitting the thumbs up button, which I hope you do right now, I want you to give me a comment. I want to hear what your thoughts on this pricey risk. That's right. So from the headline itself, James Gunn's Supergirl called a pricey risk. Warner Brothers nervous? Well, according to Matt McGloin's writing and this headline, maybe so. A new industry take suggests the studio has real concerns about Supergirl. Puck News previously flagged James Gunn's Supergirl as one of the red flags on Warner Brothers' 2026 slate. Now the same outlet, oh boy, that's not good, is escalating that view, describing the DC movie as one of the studio's priciest risks. Look, I said from the very beginning this was going to be a problem. Drunk Supergirl isn't the character you wanted to use. You wanted to use the sweet, the nice, the farm girl, the dairy girl to promote this particular film and to make it good. You need somebody like a Sydney Sweeney, not somebody like, well, a drunk version of a Game of Thrones queen. I think that was a mistake, but hey, what do I know? I know this. That's not the kind of label you want attached to a superhero movie that's supposed to help carry the future of James Gunn's DCU, especially with the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery and new owners Paramount Skydance and everything else in between. And again, it's not that she looks bad, although she does. They really make her take away the beauty that's there in Millie Alcock. But her hair is just not, well, great. She's very unkempt. And as you saw in her drunken cameo in the last Superman film, it wasn't exactly something to write home about. So Puck's latest comment came while discussing the collapse of The Bride, which was Maggie Gyllenhaal's feminist movie that opened to a disastrous $7 million domestically against a reported budget of around $92 million, and that's not even accounting for the promotion budget. And while mocking Warner Brothers' attempt to downplay the failure, Puck noted that the studio still has several expensive films on deck that come with serious risks. Supergirl was singled out by name. And again, I've said multiple times and continue to say so even in this video that you needed to get the team together as soon as possible. You needed to show the big three. We needed a Batman, a Superman, and of course a Wonder Woman. They needed to figure that out and didn't. They went an entirely different way, introducing a lot of, well, animation stuff with Creature Commandos and a kind of an animated version, live action version of what I would say was a terrible Peacemaker. Neither of those things land well for the audience. What I'm worried about is that Supergirl may just take this thing all the way down and that we won't get anything in the future. Or maybe I'm not so worried. Maybe I think that's a good thing to put this on the shelf for a minute until the new boss comes in. What do you think? Now, Puck wrote, despite Warner's successful run in 2025, they did lead the box office. That's certainly an optimistic statement for a studio with a bunch of pricey risks like Supergirl, Tom Cruise's Digger, and J.J. Abrams' The Great Beyond on its 26th slate. Those are all going to be high-risk maneuvers for sure. And Puck essentially suggests that Warner Brothers sees Supergirl as a financial risk, not a sure thing, and it isn't being framed as a breakout hit. It's being treated by the industry like a movie that could easily disappoint. Well, I think we'll all be disappointed, but we only have to wait around just a few more months till July to find out. I don't think it's worth the wait. Regardless, the concern makes sense because Supergirl's already faced backlash tied to the trailer, criticism over the tone, and the questions about how closely it actually sticks to the Woman of Tomorrow source material. Again, anytime you involve Tom King in a project, that's risky because he's likely going to turn the audience against you. I think a lot of people left the comics because, well, he was such a controversial creator. Wow, it was hard not to curse. Reports surrounding the movie have also been messy, with rumors about changes to the villain, Krem, and a general feeling that the film is leaning too hard into Gunn's same offbeat formula he uses for everything, something that audiences have already started pushing back on if it's all the same. And that's the problem. This guy does one thing. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy. He doesn't seem to be able to mix it up. He's doing Guardians of the Galaxy with his Peacemaker show. He kind of did a weird adult version animation cartoon, and now this is more of the same. If you look at his Superman movie, it felt very Guardians-like. And this also feels that way, even though it comes from a different director. Maybe the direction's just set in stone. There's also a bigger issue hanging over all of this. Gunn's Superman did not perform as a massive worldwide reset Warner Brothers likely wanted, nor did it perform well in the box office. It really did lose money. I know it's hard to believe, but it did. And as a result, Supergirl now faces even more pressure, especially as another female-led superhero movie following the box office failures like The Marvels, which was terrible, and Madam Web, which was Sony's worst film yet. And that's saying something because of Morbius. So come to find out, women don't go see superhero films. Well, maybe that's the conclusion we could draw. But the flick is also shaping up to be another message-driven, divisive project from Gunn, what his DCU seems to be all about for some reason. The formula already hurt Peacemaker, which lost nearly 40% of its audience in 2 seasons. The Lanterns trailer is also getting major backlash, and the approach didn't work for Warner Brothers' The Bride either. In fact, it hasn't been working for films at all lately. And the idea that they would continue to grind up the cheese whiz and just keep serving it up to an audience that says, I don't like that, is kind of, well, disconnected from the people you should be entertaining. And that's the other problem. I don't really find the out-of-place humor all that entertaining, and I think the audience is starting to agree with me. We'll have to see what Drunk Supergirl looks like, and I'm going to keep saying Drunk Supergirl, even though that's not truly the title. Woman of Tomorrow could be some kind of masterpiece. Do we expect it to be, though? I don't think so. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Do you think Supergirl is going to be a disaster? Do you think it is a pricey risk? Do you think that this may be Warner Brothers' big mistake that draws the DC experiment with Gunn to a close? And do you think we see somebody else take over in the very near future? Or do you think it might even be Pam and Michael coming in to save the day? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. Just, well, hopefully not suffering this movie. I'll see it for you.